Dear boomers, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. That's Blaise Pascal. He was a 17th century mathematician, philosopher, and theologian. Believed this inability to sit quietly in a room alone without distractions is the root of all of humanity's problems. In this video, we will explore Pascal's profound statement, why it rings true, and how embracing stillness could change the world and your life. I think about, for instance, when somebody close to you dies, and if you try to sit still and absorb the full impact of the loss, all alone in a room without any kind of electronics, it is difficult. And it is possible. But the longer you sit and the longer you process, the stronger you will be when you emerge from the room. You might want to fast. You might want to drink water, but fast as you do this. Pascal lived in the 1600s, a long time before the iPhone, 24/7 news cycles, and endless distractions. Yet even then, he observed that people struggled with solitude. Even then, you would have thought, they don't have that kind of problem. Fast forward to today, and his words are more relevant than ever. We live in a world that constantly pulls us away from stillness, from quietude, from meditative reflection, and it bombards us with noise and distraction. Let me just say that again. All of humanity's problems stems from woman's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Why do we resist stillness? Another luminary is Eckhart Tolle, E.T. He wrote a whole book on stillness, and he talks about it almost all the time. There are numerous references to stillness in The New Earth and The Power of Now, and also he wrote a book called Stillness. Sitting alone forces us to face ourselves, our thoughts, our fears, and unresolved emotions that we may not even know we had. It's uncomfortable, and discomfort sometimes is the sign of the greatest growth. Blaise Pascal suggested that distraction is our way of avoiding discomfort, and in a sense, distraction has become humanity's favorite coping mechanism. That's a big line there. Psychologists today agree. They call this experiential avoidance, the tendency to escape from feelings and thoughts that make us uncomfortable. But what happens when avoidance becomes our default? I know that in many of the classes I attend on online work, they say to get out of your comfort zone. And when you do, and you reach the unknown plateaus and the plains and the hills and the valleys, that's when the real change begins. Psychologists agree. They call this experiential avoidance a very concerning thing in our society. When we avoid stillness, we lose touch with ourselves. This disconnection leads to anxiety, poor decision making, and lack of clarity. As society, our inabilities to sit quietly contributes to global problems, conflict, consumerism, environmental neglect, all fueled by restless minds seeking external solutions to internal problems. We've talked about this several times over the last week or two, or maybe throughout the last month. And what would happen if we would embrace stillness instead of avoiding it? Great thinkers from Pascal to modern spiritual thinkers as Thich Nhat Hanh and as Joe Dispenza, as we've been talking about him, emphasizes the transformational power of solitude. Sitting quietly doesn't just help us find inner peace, it helps us gain clarity, creativity, and the strength to face the challenges that we have, our family has, the general suffering of the world. We can face all of these things with courage. Here are 3 ways to start embracing the stillness in your life. Take 5 to 10 minutes every day to sit quietly without distractions. Focus on your breath and let your thoughts flow. Or better yet, as Eckhart Tolle says, don't think at all. You can watch the sunrise, the sunset, breathing in the potential of the new day or of the day that has just passed and the night that is about to descend. Write your thoughts in a journal, and when you do this, more every day, when you do this more routinely, it helps to process emotions and clears mental clutter and allows creativity to flow through. And maybe, just maybe, you will have the next $1 million idea. And it's important to have and think about digital detox. Set aside each day to unplug from all devices. Let the quietness guide you. My friend Jonathan was just here, and we took a walk without our cell phones in a snowstorm. And we walked, 5 miles. It was very, very wonderful. And now I'm back. Pascal's insight isn't just about personal growth. It's about societal change. When individuals cultivate peace within, it radiates outwardly, creating more compassionate communities and a world less driven by fear and chaos. Maybe Blaise Pascal was right. Well, of course he was. Maybe the answer to humanity's greatest problems begins with something as simple and as challenging, as simple as sitting quietly in a room alone. Have you ever tried to do that? Let's give it a try. Stillness is not the absence of life, it is the foundation of life. And basically, when you think about it, we come into deeper touch with our own soul, with who we are. The inner world takes precedence over the outer world. And as we know, the outer world is chaotic right now, and I think it's better not to even, go there, not to think that is the only way to process life is by seeing what's going on in the news. Forget it. Let it go. So, if you want to take a look at some of my other videos, right here, like and subscribe, and I will see you again.